Alright, so here it is finally completed. This is the Walthers Cornerstone Intermodal Crane, and it's a Mi-Jack Translift, and I made it operated by Norfolk Southern. And these cranes are used to carry these intermodal shipping containers, 40 foot and 53 foot, and they basically transfer containers between trucks and trains. Now to load up a container, this set actually comes with magnets which are placed here on the edges. So if you have any magnet, you could try to place it there and it's gonna stick. So we're going to place magnets in the corners, just like this. And now let's just place this container underneath the crane. Just like that, and now we have a nice little diorama you can add into your model train layout. Now another function are these arms. They can actually drop down, and they are used to carry truck trailers. So here I have this Athens trailer. We're going to just load it up like this. So this is another way you can use your Mi-Jack crane. Now these bars actually can move up and down. So you can definitely get pretty low to load up these well cars. And you can also move it from side to side. And this thing can roll. And now let's go take a look at the actual details. So over here on the side, here is the main compartment area. We have a couple of decals. Got the Mi-Jack logo, trailer on flat car, and the old Norfolk Southern logo without the horse head. And a warning label to keep clear of the wheels. And above we have this platform, which can be accessed by these ladders on the side. And this crane can carry 100,000 pounds, and positively no riding on ladders. And next to that we have the cab, which has see-through windows, which you do have to cut out with acetate. And this is where the crane operator would sit when he's operating the crane. And above that I added some more decals, and on top we have a canister and maybe perhaps a generator box. Now we also have the wheels, which I did paint in black, which does get dirty pretty easily, and the wheel also has this cover here on the side, which does roll better without it. Alright, so now let's go check out the top. So on top we have this catwalk with railings along it, and a little bridge in the middle connecting both sides, which is only on one end. The other side has these smaller railings at the edges. And here's how the Mi-Jack looks like from above. So you can see the asymmetry. And then here's how it looks like from the other side. It's basically just the frame, but it did add in some decals like in the front and on the sides. And here's how the bottom looks like. You can see the beams for the catwalks. I also labeled this crane number 16, but yeah, let's go check it out on the layout. So we're going to use the Walthers Intermodal Yard Pavement to make the yard. However, you may notice these Kata unit tracks and the yard pavement, they're not on the same level because the ballast is much higher, so there is a gap. Now to solve this, I bought some EVA foam boards. They're about 1/4 of an inch thick, and I put this on the side of the tracks with the yard pavement on top, and now it's level. Now let's do the rest. so for my final thoughts, the Walthers Mi-Jack is a pretty good looking piece if you're making an HO scale intermodal rail yard. You can pose it to hold containers with magnets and move the arms to hold trailers. It does come with decals for details, which some of it you kind of have to make up your own customization where to put the warning labels. Like every person I've seen does it a little bit differently. I also noticed the Tofik decal on the cover art is a bolder font than the decals you actually get. So apparently in older runs they had a different decal sheet with the bold font, which is actually more accurate to the prototype, and they had a larger selection of decals like the yellow that goes on the trailer carrying arms. So I'm not sure why they downgraded that. By the way, the instructions have a ton of spelling errors. Now originally when I was painting this kit, I used Tamiya rattle cans for the paint, but midway through I switched to Vallejo, which is water-based. It doesn't leave this toxic smell that lingers in the air, and I've also learned how to airbrush for the first time. It's definitely a lot better than spray cans, but I did have to learn a lot. One thing you have to keep in mind for this model is that too much paint will gum up all the moving parts. It's going to be jerky to move. Like, you don't need to paint the inside peg of the arm or it's not going to fit. I did have to shave it down to slide better. Yellow is also a difficult pigment to work with because it's transparent. You do need a lot for the color to be solid. Another challenging issue was the weather. It was pretty humid when I was painting this because of the hurricane, so it took a longer time for things to dry and the models would still be a bit sticky. Also for the cab windows, it does come with a diagram of how to cut it. However, it's slightly smaller than what you actually need, so I recommend just cutting a placeholder out of paper, check if it fits, and then cutting out the acetate to that shape. And also add in a notch at the bottom because there's stuff in the corners. As for the Intermodal Yard Pavement, it does come with a decent amount of plates. You could paint this if you wanted to, but I didn't have great paint at the time, so maybe I'll do that in the future and use the yellow line decals. But it looks okay without it, unlike the molded in orange for the crane, which I think painting is definitely necessary, or else you're gonna have like orange wheels. But overall, I think it's a pretty great set if you want an intermodal yard crane, and actually got the chance to see these in real life at BNSF Hobart Yard near Los Angeles. And one thing I've noticed is that for the trailer arms, they actually go on a diagonal. They're not perfectly horizontal. Also, they often have these guards around the wheels, so maybe that could be a modification that you can add. I've made so many videos of intermodal trains, so I always want to try this out, and now I actually have it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you haven't already, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
It's just too narrow. Gotta increase the space.